What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome here today to me reacting to some John Collins trade ideas you guys gave me on the community tab a couple days ago. So yeah, there's apparently a report out there that the Hawks are willing to listen to offers on John Collins before the 2021 trade deadline. And John Collins is a great young power forward who can space the floor, score inside, a good rebounder. The one knock on him is he's not the greatest defender inside or really on the perimeter, but somebody that could put you up and put up 20 and 10 out of a power forward who could shoot 34+% from three and is younger than 26 years old is immense value, and a team would give up premier assets to get that said player. Now, I don't really know why the Hawks want to trade John Collins. I guess they just don't view him as a max player, and he might want max money in the offseason like what Jamal Murray got, like what some of those guys got as well. So like Jaylen Brown maybe. He might want that type of money. We'll see if he ends up getting it. But yeah, we're going to look at some ideas you guys gave me down below here. I think that if I'm going to say what I think they should do, I think they should keep him. I think they should pay him. You could have Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter. You have Collins and Capella. I like those four players as your quarter builder. Now, I guess them drafting Onyeka Okongwu was like, all right, maybe we're going to move on from John Collins. I didn't really agree with that. I thought they should have gone Tyrese Halliburton or Isaac Okoro, and they took Onyeka Okongwu. Actually, Okoro was off the board. So, yeah, I guess Halliburton is really what I meant. Or even Devin Vassell. Yeah, take a wing. But they ended up taking Onyeka Okongwu. I like Okongwu as well, but just, I don't know. I'd rather have John Collins than Okongwu, to be honest with you. So we'll look at some trades, and I'll see if I like any of them and would agree with them. So the first one is from Charlie Bender. John Collins going to the Hornets, and then PJ Washington, Grant Riller, future first, and maybe a second in return. That's not a bad return for an expiring restricted free agent, in which I think a lot of teams could throw money at, like the San Antonio Spurs. I'd like to see them throw like 25 to 27 mil at John Collins because they could use his young athleticism, I guess that does make sense. But what he can provide for them on the offensive end and kind of contribute to that young core of Devin Vassell, DeJounte Murray, Derek White. Well, not really a young player, but Lonnie Walker, those guys. So, but back to the Hornets. I like this for them. I think that's a massive upgrade, and you're providing great offensive value now with LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, and John Collins potentially as your 1 through 4. And then you got Miles Bridges, Devontae Graham off the bench. I like that a lot, definitely. I also like Grant Riller a lot, but I don't know if he would do anything in Atlanta. You get a future first, probably like a top 10 protected first or a lottery protected first that would convey or just kind of keep being protected down the line until it's like 2026 first. But yeah, I think the Hornets need a center. But I think this is an upgrade I would do, 100%. I think they should do this trade. I agree, Charlie. And I think for the Hawks, it's not a bad return because you get at least, Collins was 2017, Washington was 2019, so you get at least 2 more years of team control of P.J. Washington, and you get Grant Riller, you get a first. That's not a bad return either. Portland gets John Collins. Hawks get Gary Trent, Zach Collins, a first and a second. Now, I do like the idea of Portland getting John Collins. I just rather see them go after defensive players than offensive players because they really don't need to improve that much on offense. Like when CJ comes back and Nurkic and you have Lillard, obviously you have Gary Trent. Melo's been playing better as of late. You have good offensive players. You just really need some defensive help, and John Collins doesn't solve that. I don't mind the return for Atlanta, but I don't like it. I'd rather honestly take the PJ Washington trade, so I'm not a fan of that trade for both teams. If it's that, I would probably do that if I were Portland, but I would just target a defensive player if you're going to give up those assets. Pistons get John Collins. Hawks, everyone on the Pistons except Jeremy Grant. I don't even think the Hawks would say yes to that. Because what are you going to offer? You can offer Sekou Doumbouya, Killian Hayes. They don't want Blake Griffin. I'm just messing, but yeah, I don't really think maybe they'd like Sadiq Bey. But yeah, if the Pistons, I wouldn't mind a forward combo, like your small forward Jeremy Grant and power forward John Collins. I could get behind that. I would also really like the Knicks to go after John Collins if they didn't draft Obi Toppin, but they did. Warriors get John Collins. Hawks get Eric Pascal Oubre in 2 seconds. Okay. Interesting. I think, I don't know, would the Hawks want a first in that trade? But I do like the idea. I do like that idea for the Warriors. I think that'd be massive. I mean, would they pay? Would they pay Collins, though? Because they're going to lose money, a lot of money in this trade because, Oubre's, it's interesting. Like, who's going to get paid more money after free agency or in free agency? John Collins or Kelly Oubre? I would think John Collins would. Like, I could see Oubre getting around 20. I could see Collins getting almost 30, to be honest with you. So, that lineup looks amazing. I like it, but I just don't know if the Warriors would make that trade money-wise. And then maybe Atlanta would be like, keep the seconds. We want the Minnesota pick. I don't know. John Collins or Jimmy Leonard. Thank you, Jenner, for the realistic trade. Tej Veer Jagdev, sorry if I was butchering your name. After February 21, Warriors, Tony Snell, and John Collins. Hawks get Kelly Oubre. Okay, so another pick that you mentioned, or that was mentioned before, but a 2022 and 2026 unprotected first. 2 firsts for John Collins and Kelly Oubre. I mean, I don't think really Kelly Oubre is that big of a deal, so 2 firsts for John Collins. If you are going to resign him, and Joe Lacob, I believe is his name, the owner, is going to whip out the checkbook and be like, all right, we'll keep paying the luxury tax. Yeah, then do that trade. But I don't know if they will. Ooh, Kings get John Collins. Hawks get Bagley, a first, and DeQuan Jeffries. I like an idea of that. I wonder, would you do, because like Bagley, I haven't lost hope for Bagley, but I just not the biggest fan of Marvin Bagley. Like, would you do some type of like Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley for John Collins and like Kevin Huerter? It's an interesting package. I like the idea of the Kings trading for John Collins, including Bagley. So maybe the first round pick gets it done because Bagley's he was 2018, so you at least have next year of team control before he's a restricted free agent. Suns get John Collins, Hawks get Cam Johnson, Jalen Smith, and 2 seconds. Honestly, I like that for both teams. Now, I wish DeAndre Ayton was more of like a better defensive center, but he's not too bad. So I think you found your power forward next to Ayton if you can pull that off. And for the Hawks, if you like Jalen Smith, then do it. If you don't, then probably don't do that. But you're getting Cam Johnson, who's a lights-out shooter. And maybe you'd want a first-round pick in return. Maybe. But the Suns gave up a first, correct, for Chris Paul? Yeah, I believe so. Hawks, a Magic trade. Aaron Gordon, Gary Clark, a future first, and Jordan Bone. And the Magic get Collins in a second. I like that, but I actually like that for both teams. I'm just trying to think of the Magic lineup. So would you go Isaac at the 3? I guess that's what you were doing anyway with Gordon, or maybe rolling Gordon at the 3. But I like that. I think that would be pretty good. I think that actually could make sense for both teams. Suns get Collins. Hawks get Cam Johnson. Langston Galloway in 2 seconds. I think they would want like a Jalen Smith in that. I think so. I don't think Cam Johnson can move the needle. Mavs trade. All right, so we got Jalen Brunson, a second, and James Johnson to the Hawks for Collins. Again, I don't think Jalen Brunson is enough to move the needle there, and for the Hawks to agree that they might as well just keep him at that point. And then try to do a match and trade in the offseason in restricted free agency. Harry says Cavs get John Collins. Okay, I like a Cavs idea. Hawks get Larry Nance, JaVale McGee in a future second. Once again, I just don't think that's enough for the Hawks to accept. They would probably X for, I don't know if they will. I don't think they would X for Garland. They wouldn't X for Jared Allen. I don't really know. I don't know what Cavs trade that would get it done, to be honest with you, because like they're not trading Sexton. Garland they don't really need because he would not fit well with Trae Young, and they don't really need Jared Allen because they have Okongwu and Clint Capella there as their rim protectors. So yeah, I don't really see how a Cavs trade gets done. Bulls get John Collins. Hawks get Markkanen in 2 seconds. That's interesting. That really is. But once again, I don't think the Hawks... I mean, like, both of these guys are hitting restricted free agency. I mean, I just feel like this trade serves no purpose. Like, neither team benefits from this trade at all. Hawks get Aaron Nesmith, Grant Williams, I'm guessing, and Robert Williams. Ooh, they're both Williams. And a first, and the Celtics get Collins and Rondo /Stone. I mean, it would be cool to see Rondo go back to the Celtics, 100%. Honestly, that return isn't bad. You get a good shooter in Aaron Nesmith. You can maybe salvage one of Robert or Grant Williams, and you're getting a first. I could get behind that for both teams. Because you're getting a first out of it, and you're getting 3 players that could crack your rotation as well, and they're all still fairly young. Suns get John Collins. Hawks get Jalen Smith, Cam Johnson in 2 seconds. That was already mentioned. Romer with the Thunder trade. Okay, so Thunder received John Collins. Hawks received George Hill and 2 first-round picks. Yeah. I mean, 2 first-round picks is pretty good compensation. You can offer one of the Rockets picks. You can offer maybe the Warriors pick or the Suns pick, or you can offer the Clippers picks as well. So I think the Thunder could do that, but you have Darius Bazley and Poku. So do you want to kind of log jam that position because they all kind of play the same position? Hawks get, I like a John Collins idea to the Rockets for Victor Oladipo, basically. But how do the Rockets go about that? Do they have a Wood at the 5 and Collins at the 4? Can that work out? But I like that. And for the Hawks, you're getting Oladipo, who can maybe re-sign there, and he could be a good guard next to Trae Young. I've been mocking that trade for the last 2 years, so I do like that. Milwaukee gets John Collins. Atlanta gets DiVincenzo, Portis, and 2 firsts. I mean, I don't think Milwaukee really has the capital to do that in first rounders. I mean, if they would do DiVincenzo for Collins straight up, maybe think about that. But because you can lock up Collins long term, but I don't even think I would do that if I were Milwaukee. 76ers receive John Collins, and then the Hawks receive Maxey, a first, Scott, and Ferguson. Ooh. I don't know if the Sixers would want to trade away Maxey, but I'm just trying to think of like a lineup you can have out there. Like you could have Shake, Simmons, Harris, Collins, and, or no, you would have like Simmons, Seth, Harris, Collins, and Embiid. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And Collins can space the floor. I would think about that. I wouldn't be opposed. All right, so that is going to be for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what your favorite trade idea was down below, and do you think that the Hawks should trade for him? So you can let me know either one of those two things, or you can let me know what would be a good John Collins trade. So I will be doing this type of video again with Kyle Lowry in the future, so look out on the community tab, and I'll be posting where you can be featured for some Kyle Lowry trade ideas. Sorry if I couldn't mention everybody, but the teams do get repetitive as this goes along. So we got some interesting ones. I think the ones I like best were the Phoenix Suns, the Boston Celtics, and the, who else did I like? I didn't mind the Rockets idea, and I like the Magic one as well. Some maybe T-Wolves ideas could be interesting. I guess Culver, maybe Jaden McDaniels, maybe Bomaro would be in the trade. I don't know in a future first, but I don't even know if that's the, I mean, you'd get your power forward next to Cat, but it would not be a good defensive front court. So, yeah, let me know that down below. Those were my favorite ones that I mentioned before. The Sixers one was interesting, but the Celtics one mainly, the Magic one, and the Suns one, I was a fan of those. And I like the Rockets one. Portland, actually, and I like Charlotte as well. So those 4 trades. So, yeah, that is good for me. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.